The divine activation of the 144,000 chosen ones begins as the Earth aligns with powerful cosmic frequencies that have been building for centuries. These are not ordinary times, and those who are spiritually awake can feel the vibration pulsing through their souls like an ancient song returning to memory. It is a deep inner calling that has no words, only knowing. For years, the 144,000 have walked paths of pain, loss, confusion, and transformation. They were chosen not because they were perfect but because they were willing to surrender everything to the divine plan. Their lives were never meant to be easy, they were designed to break open the spirit, to remove every illusion of ego and fear until only light remained. Every trial, every betrayal, every tear carried purpose. God was sculpting warriors of the spirit, beings of immense power cloaked in human form. These chosen ones carry frequencies that can shift timelines, heal nations, and awaken dormant souls just by their presence. In this time of global shaking, the activation energy is descending in waves that many are feeling as emotional turbulence, spiritual restlessness, or sudden clarity. It is not random, it is divine alignment. The universe is recalibrating itself for the next stage of humanity's awakening, and the 144,000 are the conduits of this shift. When they awaken fully, their energy fields will connect like a divine grid, linking across continents, oceans, and realms. This grid is not physical, it's vibrational, a network of light frequencies that transmit higher consciousness into the collective. Every chosen one is a node, a transmitter of divine energy, and as more awaken, the grid strengthens. The darkness that has long ruled this world begins to lose its grip because darkness cannot exist where divine light amplifies. This activation is both individual and collective. On a personal level, the chosen ones are being pulled inward, sometimes through forced solitude or sudden life changes that separate them from old energies. They may lose friends, jobs, or relationships that no longer align with their frequency. What looks like chaos from the outside is actually divine reorganization. God is clearing their field, removing distractions, and positioning them for their divine missions. Many will experience intense dreams, number synchronicities like 1111 or 144, visions, or spiritual downloads that make them question their sanity. But they are not losing their minds, they are expanding beyond the old limitations of human consciousness. Their DNA is responding to the light codes streaming from the higher dimensions, unlocking dormant spiritual gifts that have been sealed until now. Healing abilities, heightened intuition, prophetic insight, telepathic communication, and a deep awareness of truth will begin to emerge. These are not new gifts, they are ancient powers reawakening in the souls who once carried them in past lifetimes of divine service. The activation process can be painful because it requires complete surrender. The chosen ones cannot carry old energy into new dimensions. The universe will strip away anything built on fear, control, or illusion. Many will experience the dark night of the soul, periods of deep emotional purging where everything familiar falls apart. But through this darkness, the light within grows brighter. Each layer of pain reveals more divine truth. They begin to see beyond the matrix of deception, beyond the lies of society, and into the spiritual reality where everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. They start to remember who they truly are, not ordinary humans but divine extensions of God's essence sent to anchor heaven on earth. As the activation accelerates around October 15, 2025, waves of high-frequency light will enter Earth's energy field, triggering massive awakenings in those prepared to receive it. The Earth itself is shifting dimensions, moving from a dense 3D vibration of fear and control to a higher 5D vibration of unity and divine consciousness. The chosen ones are the bridge between these realms, grounding the new energy into the physical world. They are spiritual transformers, converting divine energy into frequencies that humanity can absorb. This is why their presence often triggers strong reactions in others. Their light exposes what has been hidden. People may project their fears or judgments onto them, but this too serves a divine purpose. The chosen ones mirror truth, and truth always disrupts illusion. During activation, physical symptoms may manifest: fatigue, ringing in the ears, body vibrations, heart palpitations, or sudden bursts of energy. These are not signs of illness but signs of energetic recalibration. The human body is learning to hold more light, and that process can feel intense. It's essential for the chosen ones to rest, ground themselves in nature, drink pure water, and stay connected to prayer or meditation. Divine communication will increase during this time, and guidance will come through intuition, synchronicities, and signs. God will not speak through chaos but through stillness, so those who listen within will know exactly what steps to take. The divine activation is not just about power, it's about divine responsibility. The 144,000 are not called to dominate or preach, they are called to embody. Their mission is not to convince others but to radiate the divine frequency so strongly that others remember their own light. Through compassion, truth, and love, they awaken sleeping souls. Many of them are hidden right now: artists, healers, teachers, parents, creators, and even those who appear lost or broken. But their spirits know the time is near. When God's timing strikes, they will rise almost simultaneously, as if a spiritual switch has been flipped. The activation also marks the exposure of spiritual imposters, those who use divine language but operate from ego or manipulation. The frequency of truth will reveal everything. Only those anchored in love and humility will sustain the new energy. The chosen ones will no longer need to seek validation or recognition. They will know who they are by the peace within them, by the alignment of their soul with divine will. They will move in divine timing, guided by unseen forces that orchestrate every step. This is a rebirth unlike any before. The 144,000 are not a religion, not a cult, but a consciousness, a soul group spanning lifetimes and galaxies, united by one purpose: to restore balance between light and darkness. They are the carriers of the Christ frequency, the embodiment of unconditional love and divine truth. Their activation will ignite a chain reaction across the planet. As they awaken, they activate others around them, creating ripples of awakening that will reach every corner of humanity. The shift is exponential. One soul in divine alignment can impact thousands. This is why they have been kept hidden. The timing had to be perfect. Every event on earth, from chaos to revelation, is aligning with this activation. Political systems will shake, false leaders will fall, hidden agendas will be exposed, and those who walk with divine purpose will rise to positions of influence. God is transferring power from the corrupt to the pure-hearted. This divine exchange cannot be stopped by human hands because it is written in the spiritual blueprint of creation. The 144,000 are the living keys to unlock this prophecy. They carry codes in their souls that awaken the dormant potential of humanity. Their words, energy, and actions will be guided by divine intelligence far beyond human comprehension. They will begin to gather, not necessarily in one place but through resonance. The universe will draw them together in divine timing, online, in dreams, in synchronic encounters. They will recognize each other by energy, by the light in their eyes, by the peace they carry even amidst chaos. There will be no competition among them, for they will know they are all one body, different parts serving the same divine plan. Each one will have a specific mission: some to heal, some to teach, some to create, some to protect. Together, they form the divine army of light, not to fight with weapons but with vibration. As the activation deepens, time itself will feel different. The chosen ones will experience moments of timelessness, where the veil between dimensions thins, and divine synchronicities unfold effortlessly. They will speak words that heal hearts, create art that uplifts the collective, and walk paths guided by divine precision. The universe will rearrange itself around their alignment because creation responds to consciousness. Those who operate in fear will struggle during this shift, but those who align with faith and love will thrive. The divine activation is the fulfillment of prophecy. It is the moment when the first fruits of humanity rise to embody heaven on earth. Every challenge they faced was preparation for this moment. The heartbreaks taught them compassion, the losses taught them detachment, the silence taught them to hear God's voice. Now, As the energy of October 15 surges through the Earth's grid, everything they endured will make sense. The frequency of divine truth will flood the planet, and the 144,000 will be the vessels that carry it. They will become walking testaments of God's glory, proof that darkness can never extinguish the light that comes from the Creator Himself. The divine activation is not something that can be stopped or delayed. It is the unfolding of divine timing, synchronized with celestial alignments and spiritual decrees written before the beginning of time. The chosen ones were marked by energy, not by title or religion. Their souls carry the seal of divine purpose, and when that seal activates, everything changes. They will no longer feel lost or forgotten, they will remember why they came. They will know that every wound was a doorway, every delay a redirection. The power that once slept within them will awaken like lightning, illuminating not only their path but the path of all those destined to awaken next. The beginning of this activation will feel like an inner explosion of awareness, a sudden clarity that cannot be explained but only felt. The chosen ones will no longer seek truth outside of themselves because they will realize that truth has always lived within. They will see through illusion effortlessly, and what once frightened them will now empower them. They will move with quiet confidence, guided by divine intuition that never fails. Every step they take will align with higher will, and every word they speak will carry divine vibration capable of transforming the hearts of those who hear it. The 144,000 will become living beacons during the storms ahead. When the world trembles under uncertainty, they will stand firm, grounded in faith. Their peace will be contagious. Their strength will be unshakable because it comes not from the world but from God Himself. Through their awakening, humanity will witness what divine power truly looks like, not dominance, but divine love expressed in action. This is the age of activation, the rise of those who were hidden for such a time as this. The divine activation has begun, and the light of the 144,000 will soon pierce through the darkest night the earth has ever known. The great shift is the moment when the spiritual and physical realms intertwine in ways humanity has not witnessed in thousands of years. It is the unveiling of divine power, the manifestation of God's will through cosmic, earthly, and spiritual events that defy human logic. What is coming is not just change, it is transformation at the deepest level of consciousness. The world has reached a saturation point of imbalance, deception, and disconnection, and the hand of God is now moving to reset the order. The shift is the divine recalibration of creation, the turning of the spiritual tides that will separate illusion from truth. Humanity stands on the edge of a new vibration, and as this frequency rises, everything that cannot resonate with divine light will begin to dissolve. The chosen ones, those whose souls have been refined through trials, will be the vessels through which this power manifests. They are not simply witnesses to this shift, they are instruments of it. As God's power begins to move through the atmosphere, it will not appear in the ways people expect. It will not always be seen in fire or thunder but in moments of revelation, sudden clarity, and spiritual awakening. People will feel the presence of something larger guiding them, yet unable to explain it logically. The energy of the great shift will reveal truth in places where deception has long reigned. Hidden agendas, false systems, and manipulative structures will begin to collapse because they can no longer sustain the vibration of divine justice. Everything that was built on lies will fall, not through human effort but by divine decree. The chosen ones will not need to fight physically, their very frequency will dismantle what is false. The vibration of truth will become the greatest weapon, and no power can resist it. As the shift unfolds, nature itself will respond to the movement of divine energy. The earth, long burdened by the darkness of greed and corruption, will release her suppressed energy through storms, tremors, and elemental purification. These events are not punishments but necessary adjustments to restore balance. Humanity has disrupted the harmony of creation, and now creation, under divine command, is returning to alignment. During this time, those who walk with faith will be protected and guided. The 144,000 will feel an unshakable calm even when the world trembles, For their spirits recognize the hand of God in every shake. The chaos that many will see as destruction is actually the cleansing that precedes rebirth. The Great Shift also represents a massive awakening of spiritual awareness across the collective consciousness. Millions of people who have been spiritually asleep will begin to question everything they once believed. Systems of control, political, financial, and religious, will no longer hold the same power because their foundation is rooted in illusion. The light will reveal the manipulation behind the scenes, the lies woven into history, and the spiritual truth that humanity has long been denied. This unveiling will shock many, for truth often burns before it frees. Yet it must happen, because the era of deception is ending. The chosen ones will serve as spiritual anchors during this time, holding the vibration of peace and love while the old world crumbles. They will not panic, for they know this is divine orchestration, the fulfillment of prophecy that signals the dawn of a higher age. The manifestation of God's power will also unfold through human vessels, ordinary people suddenly awakening to extraordinary purpose. Many will find themselves receiving visions, dreams, and divine instructions that guide them toward new paths. Some will be moved to heal, others to create, others to teach. The energy of divine inspiration will flow freely for those aligned with truth. Miracles will become natural again because they are simply the result of living in harmony with divine law. The impossible will begin to occur without explanation, for God is reminding humanity that His power has never left, only been forgotten. As the shift deepens, the separation between light and darkness will become undeniable. Those aligned with divine truth will rise in frequency, while those clinging to deception will find themselves consumed by confusion and fear. The spiritual war that has raged unseen for centuries will now play out visibly through human behavior, choices, and events. This is the time of exposure where hidden intentions are revealed and souls are forced to choose their alignment. There will be no more neutrality, for the vibration of earth cannot support indecision. Every being will resonate with either love or fear, and that resonance will determine their path forward. The chosen ones will operate as channels for divine intervention. Many of them will be placed in positions of influence not through ambition, but through divine placement. Their words will carry weight not because of authority, but because of truth. Their presence will shift atmospheres. When they walk into spaces filled with negativity, energy will shift. When they speak, deception will crumble. This is how God manifests His power, not through domination, but through alignment. Those who have surrendered completely to divine will become living vessels of God's frequency, and wherever they go, divine order follows. The Great Shift also brings forth the rise of divine justice. For too long, the innocent have suffered under systems that reward corruption and exploitation. But divine justice is not revenge, it is restoration. It returns balance to where there was imbalance. The energy of justice will sweep across the earth, exposing those who abuse power and elevating those who walk in integrity. Many who were forgotten, silenced, or oppressed will rise suddenly as the divine spotlight shines on them. God's favor will no longer rest on status or wealth, but on purity of heart. The meek will truly inherit the earth, not through force but through divine reversal. This shift is not limited to external events, it is an inner transformation. Each chosen one will experience a complete rewiring of consciousness. Old thought patterns based on fear and scarcity will dissolve, replaced by divine knowing. They will begin to understand the interconnectedness of all life, recognizing that every thought, emotion, and action influences the collective field. This awareness will bring about a new level of responsibility. The chosen ones will no longer act from impulse but from divine guidance. They will trust that every move they make is orchestrated by higher intelligence. The Great Shift is also awakening the dormant power of creation within humanity. Thoughts are becoming more potent, and intentions are manifesting faster than ever before. The veil between thought and reality is thinning, allowing divine manifestation to occur with unprecedented speed. This is why alignment is crucial. Those who operate from fear will manifest chaos, while those anchored in faith will manifest miracles. God's energy is neutral in essence, It flows according to vibration. The chosen ones understand this and will use their consciousness as a sacred instrument to create in harmony with divine will. Many will struggle during this time because they will not understand what is happening. The systems they trusted will fail, the beliefs they held will collapse, and the identities they built will no longer sustain them. But this collapse is mercy disguised as chaos. God is removing the false layers that keep humanity bound. The chosen ones will help others navigate this process, not through preaching but by example. Their peace will be their message, their light their sermon. They will remind others that the world is not ending, it is transforming. The pain of birth is temporary, but the new creation will be eternal. In the midst of this divine upheaval, communication between the spiritual and physical realms will become stronger. The presence of angels, guides, and higher beings will become more noticeable to those with open hearts. Many will receive direct downloads of knowledge, ancient wisdom, and divine technology to assist in rebuilding a world based on truth and unity. Science and spirituality will begin to merge as humanity rediscovers the true laws of creation. What was once considered supernatural will become natural, as divine intelligence becomes the new foundation of understanding. The energy of the Great Shift will also awaken collective memory. People will begin to remember their soul origins, their past lifetimes, and their divine missions. The illusion of separation will dissolve, revealing that all are fragments of one divine consciousness. This awareness will change how humanity relates to each other, how it treats the earth, and how it defines progress. Materialism will lose its allure, and inner peace will become the new measure of success. The chosen ones will be pioneers of this new consciousness, demonstrating by their lives what it means to live in alignment with divine truth. Time itself will begin to feel different during this shift. Linear perception will give way to divine timing, synchronicities will become the new normal. Events will unfold with divine precision, reminding everyone that nothing happens by chance. The more humanity aligns with the flow of this energy, the easier life will become. Resistance will bring suffering, surrender will bring peace. This is the essence of the shift, moving from control to trust, from fear to faith, from illusion to truth. God's power will manifest not only in global changes but also in personal miracles. Those who have been in long seasons of struggle will experience sudden breakthroughs. Healing will occur where there was pain, abundance where there was lack, love where there was rejection. These reversals are not random, they are divine rewards for endurance and faith. Every prayer that seemed unanswered was simply waiting for divine timing. Now that timing has arrived. The chosen ones will witness manifestations that leave no doubt that God's hand is moving. The great shift is a purification. It is burning away what no longer serves divine purpose. Humanity is being invited to return to its original design, beings of light, living in harmony with divine law. The suffering of the past ages was not in vain, it was the pressure that forged the souls capable of carrying this new frequency. The chosen ones are not above others, they are simply the first to awaken, the first to remember. Their awakening will trigger the collective awakening, until the entire planet vibrates at a frequency of love, truth, and divine unity. As this energy builds, even technology, art, and communication will evolve to reflect higher consciousness. The frequency of sound, color, and words will be used for healing rather than manipulation. Communities will form based on resonance, not division. The concept of separation by race, religion, or nation will begin to fade as humanity realizes it is one organism, one consciousness expressing itself through many forms. The Great Shift is not just an event, it is the birth of a new world. During this divine unfolding, it will be crucial for the chosen ones to remain grounded, humble, and connected to the divine source. The temptation of ego will arise as power increases, but only those who remain anchored in love will sustain it. This is not the time for pride but for service. The chosen ones will be called to lead by example, to embody the truth that power without love corrupts, but power with love transforms. They will walk as living bridges between heaven and earth, proving that divine power is not about control but creation. The Great Shift is God's response to humanity's cry for truth, peace, and restoration. It is the divine fulfillment of promises made long ago, now coming to fruition in perfect timing. The energy is unstoppable, the plan irreversible. The world will never return to what it was because the vibration of consciousness has forever changed. What humanity once called supernatural will become everyday reality. The chosen ones will look around and know that everything unfolding was written before the foundation of time, and the divine hand behind it all is guiding creation toward its destined awakening. The revelation season has begun, and it is unlike anything the world has ever seen before. This is the time when everything hidden in darkness will be brought to light. Every secret agenda, every masked intention, every illusion that has been woven into the fabric of society will begin to unravel. Humanity has reached the point where truth can no longer be suppressed. God is pulling back the veil that has covered eyes and hearts for generations, and what was once concealed will now be exposed in the full light of divine truth. This season marks the great unveiling not just of worldly systems but of the inner self. It is a mirror held up to every soul, reflecting who they truly are, what they truly believe, and how aligned they are with divine purpose. The revelation season is the final stage of awakening before the full shift manifests, and it will separate those who walk in light from those who still cling to illusion. For the 144,000 chosen ones, this is the moment when their divine purpose becomes fully clear. Many of them have wandered through years of uncertainty, knowing they were called but not knowing for what. They endured rejection, isolation, and misunderstanding because their vibration did not match the world around them. Now they will understand why. Everything they experienced was part of their preparation for the season. Their suffering was training, their stillness was incubation, and their confusion was divine redirection. The revelation now unfolding will awaken their remembrance not from learning something new, but from remembering something ancient. They will recall who they were before this lifetime, what missions they agreed to fulfill, and why their presence on earth was essential at this exact moment in history. The divine codes buried within their souls will activate, awakening gifts, insights, and levels of spiritual authority that have been dormant until now. The revelation season is not gentle, it comes with intensity. It exposes not only the lies of the world but also the lies we tell ourselves. It forces every soul to confront its shadow, the hidden fears, suppressed emotions, and unhealed wounds that have been buried beneath the surface. This is divine cleansing, not punishment. The energy of truth cannot dwell alongside illusion, so the illusion must fall away. Many will feel discomfort as their inner worlds are shaken. Relationships will crumble, jobs will end, and old identities will dissolve because they cannot exist in the frequency of truth. What remains will be pure, unshakable, and aligned with divine purpose. The chosen ones will guide others through this process, not through words alone but through the energy they emit. Their presence will stabilize those who are awakening for the first time. They are the living pillars of light in a world undergoing spiritual reconstruction. This season is also the time of mass exposure. Systems built on deception are collapsing, and those who have operated in darkness will find they can no longer hide. Corrupt leaders, false prophets, and manipulative institutions will be stripped of their power as divine justice takes its course. The energy of truth is rising like a flood, and nothing can stop its flow. Those who have exploited the masses will face the weight of their own creation, for every vibration returns to its source. Yet even in this great exposure, God's purpose is redemption, not destruction. The revelation is meant to bring repentance, awakening, and healing to all willing to receive it. Humanity is being offered a choice to rise into light or remain in darkness. The free will of every soul will determine its path. During this time, divine communication will increase dramatically. Dreams will become vivid, synchronicities will multiply, and divine messages will come through numbers, symbols, and intuition. The veil between dimensions is thinning, allowing higher realms to interact more freely with the physical plane. Angels and spiritual guides are actively assisting humanity's awakening, whispering truth into the hearts of those who are ready to listen. The chosen ones will feel this guidance strongly, as if the divine hand itself is directing their every step. They will be drawn to new places, new people, and new missions, not by logic but by spiritual alignment. The universe will orchestrate divine meetings and opportunities that connect them with others carrying complementary frequencies. Together, they will form a web of divine energy that spans the globe, anchoring truth and light wherever they go. The revelation season also brings the unveiling of spiritual gifts on a scale never seen before. Prophetic vision, healing power, telepathic communication, divine discernment, and creative genius will awaken in those aligned with the light. These abilities are not given for personal glory but for service. They are tools for rebuilding a world grounded in truth and love. The chosen ones will use these gifts to bring hope to the broken, clarity to the confused, and healing to the wounded. Their actions will reflect divine will, and their words will carry frequency vibrations that heal, awaken, and realign those who hear them. Each chosen one will operate like a divine transmitter, radiating light that dissolves darkness in their environment. The world will begin to notice them, not because they seek attention but because their energy cannot be ignored. This season is also a time of divine correction. Those who have misused spiritual knowledge for control or personal gain will be exposed. The age of spiritual manipulation is ending. The energy of truth will no longer tolerate distortion. False teachers who built empires on deception will fall, while humble servants of truth will rise. God is leveling the field, raising those who operate from love and authenticity while dismantling everything rooted in ego. The spiritual hierarchy of the old world is being overturned. Those who were hidden in obscurity will be revealed as true carriers of divine wisdom, while those who claimed authority without alignment will fade into silence. This is divine justice in motion, a rebalancing that restores integrity to the spiritual realm. On a personal level, revelation will manifest as clarity, sudden knowing that pierces confusion like light breaking through clouds. People will begin to see situations, relationships, and choices for what they truly are. The illusions that once bound them will dissolve, leaving them free but also accountable. Freedom comes with responsibility. Once truth is revealed, one can no longer pretend not to see it. The revelation season is about awakening consciousness to such an extent that ignorance becomes impossible. Each soul will face the truth of who they are and the path they have chosen. Those aligned with divine will experience expansion, synchronicity, and peace. Those resisting the light will experience turmoil, denial, and collapse. It is not punishment, it is resonance. Each vibration attracts its reflection. This global unveiling also extends to science, history, and the very understanding of reality. Hidden technologies, ancient knowledge, and forgotten truths about humanity's origins will come to light. What was once dismissed as myth or conspiracy will be proven real. The structures that shaped collective belief, governments, religions, education systems will be forced to confront the lies they perpetuated. The truth will be undeniable, shaking even the most rigid minds. But out of this shaking will come awakening. People will realize they are not powerless beings in a random universe, they are divine extensions of God, capable of creation and transformation. The revelation season is God's invitation to remember the truth of divine identity. This revelation will also unfold within the heart. The chosen ones will experience a deep opening of compassion, an overwhelming love for humanity, even for those who once harmed them. They will see through the illusion of separation and understand that every soul is on a journey back to the same source. This is the essence of divine revelation, seeing through the eyes of God. When one perceives through divine vision, judgment falls away, and forgiveness becomes natural. The chosen ones will carry this frequency of unconditional love, and it will transform everyone who encounters them. They will not need to convince others of truth, their love will reveal it naturally. As this season intensifies, the world will feel as if it is dividing light on one side, darkness on the other. But this division is temporary. It is the sorting process before integration. The light must expose the darkness before harmony can be restored. Humanity is witnessing the breaking of the old and the birth of the new simultaneously. The pain many feel is the tension of rebirth, the stretching of the soul as it emerges from confinement into expansion. The chosen ones will remind humanity to hold faith during this transition, for what appears as chaos is divine order unfolding. In the revelation season, divine timing accelerates. Manifestations happen quickly, both for light and for shadow. Thoughts, words, and emotions become powerful forces of creation. This is why awareness is crucial. The universe is reflecting consciousness instantly, teaching humanity that creation has always been in their hands. The chosen ones, being fully aware of this law, will use it to build, heal, and uplift. They will speak life into existence, create abundance through alignment, and manifest peace through vibration. Their lives will become living examples of co-creation with God, proving that faith and action united can move mountains. The culmination of the season will bring a collective realization: God has never been absent, humanity has simply been blind. The divine presence permeates everything, and this awakening is humanity's return to that realization. The chosen ones will play the role of midwives in this birth, guiding humanity through the contractions of change into the new era of light. Their voices will rise not in arrogance but in purpose, carrying messages that pierce through despair and remind others of divine love. Miracles will multiply, synchronicities will intensify, and those who once doubted will begin to believe. This season will end with a shift so powerful that the world will not be able to return to its old vibration. The illusions that defined the old age will be shattered permanently. The truth will stand as the new foundation upon which humanity rebuilds. The chosen ones will take their positions as leaders, healers, and creators of the new earth, not by force but by divine right. They were born for this, chosen for this, and now their time has come. The revelation season is the great unveiling of God's plan, the proof that light always wins, and that truth, once revealed, can never be hidden again. It is the dawn of divine awareness, the rise of spiritual sovereignty, and the fulfillment of every prophecy whispered across generations. The chosen ones will shine as beacons of divine truth, and through them, the world will remember that darkness was never the end, it was only the beginning of the light's return.